Mom. Dad. Juliet. Neve. Hello, welcome back, everybody. We are so pumped to be here. Happy Friday. So I guess actually, oh damn, that was kind of a good intro for what I'm about to say.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. I got to bring the tone down a little bit.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Sorry. First off, I just want to say both Neve and I have been sick for quite a while now.
Yeah.
So we're both just exhausted. So if you hear any sniffles or coughs, we apologize. It's just baby. It's just baby illness.
You have to cough.
But I do want to take just a moment. Unfortunately, sadly, this morning we learned of the passing of Diogo Jota, one of the strikers for Liverpool. Neve,
Way to bring the mood down.
Oh, come on. This is important because it's not so, like, for me, I mean, it's sad when anyone dies, of course, but, like, for me, obviously, it's sad because he was part of Liverpool. He's a big component of the team and stuff. But I think the real reason I want to take a moment for him is maybe think of Diogo and his family. He had 3 kids and a wife he married 11 days ago.
Oh, shit, yeah.
And he died with his brother. But I think the real thing, we should take a moment to think of that and wish, like, their best wishes, but just maybe think of your loved ones and just remember them, because it's kind of stuff like this that you really remember, like, yeah, it can just be anyone at any moment.
Yeah.
So I just want to take just a brief moment. So, yeah.
That is very sad stuff.
It is. So we'll just take a moment here. Thank you, Diogo, for your service to Liverpool. You'll never walk alone. We love you and miss you. Pool. Anyhow, sorry, I know that killed the vibe, but I felt it was necessary.
That's fine. I just get really awkward when people talk about death, and that's when I say, like, my most inappropriate things. So I tried really hard.
Well, thank you to not do that this time, yeah. Okay, so anyhow, yeah, we were saying we were pretty blown up with Juliet illness. I'm blaming her, but it seems to be going around, like, everyone at work is sick.
There's a general going around of illness.
So Neve, your parents left.
Yeah, they did. Sad times.
That was sad. We miss you guys already. Can't wait for our trip in December. For all those wondering viewers, we're going on a Mexico cruise from San Diego.
And we will be taking the podcast gear to do a cruise pod.
Yes, we will, for sure. Pod on the dock.
Pod on the duck.
Or maybe we'll do it like we'll be riding Ski-Doo's podcast. Like, let's go.
Yeah, sure.
We had Sarah's surprise birthday party on Saturday. That was really fun.
It was so much fun. Yeah, I had a really, really good time.
If you hear this, well done, dude. That was super fun.
Yeah, you killed it.
You killed it, brother. Yeah, that was okay. So Dax picked me up pretty early. I want to say it was like 10:30.
It was pretty early, yeah.
Ish. We went and picked up Nick, and then it was probably 11. He picked me up, and then we picked up Nick and went to Costco at Brentwood.
Yeah.
Now, all I'm gonna say is, I thought it was crazy we were going to Costco on a Saturday, period.
Yeah.
Let alone at the time we were going, and somehow we got there and it wasn't busy at all.
I mean, the weather was so beautiful that day. The weather was so nice. People were probably just out doing stuff, not going to Costco.
Yeah, I mean, like, that doesn't make sense to me. I get what you're saying, but Costco is like, I feel like there's people that actually just live at Costco to cause mayhem. Like, they're like, what are we going to do? They're like, let's go mess up Costco. Okay. Yeah, so that
I freaking hate Costco. I get so anxious in Costco. You know how much I hate Costco.
I genuinely think Costco is a miniature IKEA for couples.
But the thing is like, I always want to go to Costco. Like, I like the stuff you can get at Costco, and it's like really good deals. So I always want to go there. and then I get there, and like as soon as I enter the doors, I just want to be out like straight away.
No,
like
it's
I
as
get
soon as
so
you get to the
like
parking lot, you like have to find a parking spot. And
yeah,
you're like,
true.
Yeah, I know, and I'm always like, I don't think we should go. Well, to be fair, we don't really go that often.
We've been like 2 or 3 times.
But yeah, but
maybe.
like the last time we went, you were like, "Let's go," and I was like, "I don't think we should go." And you're like, "Why?" And then as soon as we got there and got pissed, you're like, "We're not coming again." I was like, "Yeah, I know." I just like the thing I will say, like Costco makes sense if you need like tinfoil, bags of rice, like huge things. You go and get those, but. Like the second you're getting anything that we actually shop for, I feel like a lot of the time Costco gives you just way too much. Like you can't get like a normal pack of something. You're like, oh sweet, 8 sausages. And then you pull it up and you're like, oh, 3 packs of 8 sausages is the minimum you can get. Like it's so many.
Yeah, that's true. I think if we had a bigger freezer, we would go there more often.
True. Very true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we don't.
Well, you know what? I've actually changed our first purchase. The first purchase we're going to get with podcast money is a big freezer to store stuff in.
Outside freezer? Yeah, that would be so prime.
And that's how you know we'll made it.
Because grocery shopping every week is so expensive. Like, it's ridiculously expensive.
Yeah, and it's honestly just annoying going grocery shopping. Like, it'd be nice to be able to go, even if it was the same price, but you go once, spend a whole bunch of money, and it's like, because like
You're
you said,
stocked up,
like we
yeah.
actually don't have space for anything. Like, if you get like a full load, you actually have to jam the fridge closed.
Yeah, we literally get enough for the week because that's all we can fit in. We have got quite a small fridge, though. It's not like a huge fridge or anything.
Sorry.
Anyway, continue.
No, I was just upset that I don't have a nice fridge. I didn't realize it until you said that, and then I realized like I hate having a shitty fridge. I've never
every time we go to your mom's place and we go look in her fridge, I'm like, oh, the things I could store in here.
I know.
If I had this
I know
fridge.
my mom's fridge, the top shelf's bigger than our whole fridge.
Yeah. And her freezer as well.
And you know she has a full
Prime.
fridge downstairs too, right?
Yeah, the beer
That's
fridge.
bigger
Literally just beer in there.
Okay,
Even in Penticton, she has 2 fridges.
I have to tell you a wacky story.
Okay.
When we were 16, I stole 3 beers from my parents' beer fridge in the basement. And just so people know, it's a full giant fridge, literally full of Coronas.
Yeah.
And I got ratted out by my brother the night of. So he like came home and somehow, and the thing was he was of age because he's 3 years older.
Yeah.
So he could drink, and he ratted me out. And I still to this day just can't get over the fact that someone like there was
Over 3 beers.
There's at least 120 beers that can go in that fridge, if not more. And somehow he came home and was like, "There's 3 beers missing." I was like, "What the?" That's fucked up. That's just fucked up. How do you even do that? Like, it's kind of impressive in another way.
The fact that it was literally 3 beers as well. Like, if you'd taken like 20 and he was like, "Oh, I'm worried Derek's gonna get really fucked up," then it's like, okay, but like 3 beers? That's just like a fucking half a Wednesday night for me.
That I know. But you have to understand, like, my family in general is like, "Oh my god, I had 2 tall boys. I'm spinning," and then I'm like, "What?"
Wow, what?
It's like, did you shotgun them? And then
apart from Nona likes to drink,
and MJ does drink too.
Oh yeah.
But like Cam used to be like, I got hammered. I had a 6-pack, and then in my head I was like, I don't think that's possible.
Some people just aren't drinkers though.
Yeah.
I love an alcoholic beverage.
I'm going to after this weekend try my best. The problem has been, I don't care, first off, I'm just going to say it. I feel like it was before your parents got here. I had a run where I would like have a beer or 2, like a drink every day or like most days in a week. And then your parents came here and it just was like 9 days straight of like multiple drinks every day.
Yeah.
And I just can't do that anymore. I hate it. I mean,
to be fair, that's just like very British though.
I know, and that's
like,
fine. It's just I shouldn't do that. It fucks my body up.
Yeah, okay. Well, no one's making you do
no,
that.
I'm not
also,
blaming
yeah.
anyone. It just happens because we're doing all this stuff. And
yeah.
Anyhow, I'm gonna try and stop drinking. I'll have, like I've said, for weddings I'll go. I mean, I don't mind like having a glass or two of wine when we pancake. I don't want to be drinking every day. It's just it literally makes, I will say this, drinking consistently makes you lazy, unmotivated to work out. And I say that as someone that works out all the time. And then
that's for you though. Like, that's not for everyone. That's for you. There are people that can still drink and work out. It's not, that's not like a universal thing. No. Because you could also say, like, smoking weed every day makes you really lazy and unmotivated to work out. But it does for some people.
But I feel like alcohol, the thing with alcohol is it's the residual of when you drink. It's like lingering effect into the next days, makes you less motivated to want to go do stuff. In your opinion. In my opinion. Yeah. 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 I just don't think it's the same for everyone. Fair enough. I'm not going to argue that. I think it's your mindset when you do that, because sometimes, like, after I drink, I feel like I need to get out and do something. I'm not referring to getting out and doing something. I mean, like, hitting the gym and working out. Yeah, but you could still do that on a hangover. I know, but it's not the same. That's what I'm saying. Is like, for example, if I'm hungover and I work out, even if I'm working out, I'm more likely to do lazy sets and take more time in between and not do it. And I find that it's a thing after drinking. Whereas if I haven't drank and I get going, it's more of a thing of, like, I'm motivated. I can always get the extra, like, lifts in and stuff. Like, I don't know how to explain it. It's like, which I get, but like, I'm just saying, like, that's you. That's not, like, everyone. Okay, sure. Yeah. Sure. I don't think you can say that as a general, like, this makes you this, when it's just, like, people tolerate stuff differently. All right. I still think that I stand by what I said. I get what you're saying. Okay. But I stand by what I said. I think that it makes it, anyhow, whatever. We're just going to have to disagree. Okay. So we had Dax and Sarah's party. You didn't finish telling your story. You got to Costco and that was it. Yeah. Oh yeah. So we got to Costco, got everything there, got that cake from some place in Brentwood. Dax had, like, sniped out and was, you know, Dax always has those, like, little spots. Yeah. Yeah. So got the cake. And then we went and we set up and it was perfect because I was, like, literally just getting ready to start barbecuing. And then Sarah pulls up next to us in the car. I was like, oh shit. And we had this moment where we, like, looked at each other. It was kind of confusing. Like, why are you here? Because I wasn't expecting her. Like, Dax hadn't said she's on her way. Yeah. So anyhow, she comes. We're like, oh, hey, how's it going? I'm surprised. And then I barbecued for everyone. Yeah, you did. It was good as well. It was good barbecue. Yeah, too. Yeah. You're perfecting your craft there. Thank you. Yeah, it was a pretty easy grill. I can't deny it was all just frozen stuff. But I mean, thank you. It was good. It was fun. We spent 4 hours at the park. Yeah, we were at the park for some time. Awesome because JJ got to run around and be cute in a park. Yeah, she had the best time. I think that's the longest she stayed out at a park for. 4 hours. Maybe. I feel like we've got pretty close. Like, I went and barbecued with her down at Waterfront Park when you were away on your bachelor, right? Whatever you're doing, camping. Yeah. But probably aside from that and aside from being at Grammys, it's probably the longest she's been out. But that was fun. It was just nice to be in the sun. It was really, really nice. Yeah. Went back and we did we changed it into an anime costume, like anime costume party. Sarah question thing. Yeah. And question thing. I loved when we when she came up the stairs, we were all dressed in anime. Yeah. It was really fun. Funny. And then so that was sweet. Yeah, it was a really sweet party. Time. Yeah. And then what happened on Sunday? Whoa, rewind. Had kickers. Oh, she had little kickers on Saturday. Juliet got her first badge and certificate from kickers. 3 weeks in, or is it a month in? No, we are like 5 weeks in. 5 weeks in. Because I've done 1. And I've done 3. You've done 3. I've done 2. No? Just 1. Don't give me.
Oh yeah, no, because when we took my parents out, you were there, weren't you? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So 4 weeks.
Doesn't
in.
matter who did them. It's just
no. But it's 4 weeks in.
4 weeks in, and then so she had to get her badge, and it was the kicking badge, and so I'm trying to think what they had to do for it. They were doing the like run to the cones. Yeah, they were doing the cone stuff, but apparently that was part of the coach was like seeing if they could do all that stuff. So they had to identify.
They're like assessing them.
They were assessing to see if they could run to the different colors, which they could do. They had to be able to attempt jumping. Yeah. Which Juliet didn't quite. She's attempted. She was a little shy today. And then they had to kick it into the net, and everyone cheered for them when they kicked it in, and she did good. She kicked it, and then she just kept going and booted, like she had to work for it. Sorry, the one thing I want to say about little kickers, it's not on a soccer field of any sort. It's literally a field that's got like bushes, like it's like everywhere. So like sometimes it's a park. So sometimes they'll like kick the ball, and there'll be like a random thing of really long brush that you're like, the ball's not getting through that. Anyhow, she did it, and she got her badge and certificate, and I was super proud of her.
It's super cute.
It was really freaking cute.
Yeah, I fucking love little kickers.
Yeah, me too. I wish I could play in it. I tried to dangle one of the kids, and he tackled me, and I went down.
It like goes up to your kneecaps.
It calls me a little bitch. Yeah, and then I guess Sunday we just chilled out.
Well, we went to your mom's.
Oh, yeah.
And we watched K-pop Demon Hunters.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And now Derek's obsessed with K-pop.
That's not fair to say.
I think that's kind of fair to say.
I'm curious to the spectacle of what's going on. I'm not like, this is bumping music. It's just every time I watch them, they don't seem real.
Yeah.
Like, they're real, I know, but you're looking at I'm like
like the way the choreography is like so in sync, and
even just the way their characters are. Like, I'm like trying to picture like them being people outside of their character, and I feel like they're so curated that they're the like guys like, I'm kind of the nerdy guy. And you're like, so what do you like to do? And he's like, I'm the fourth member of the band, and I'm nerdy, but can sing and dance. And you're like, but what do you do? And he just like keeps repeating that over and over again.
Yeah.
like there, because isn't that the whole, like we've discussed this, K-pop is super curated. They're not just like,
no, they go to like school for it, and you have to like interview and stuff like that and audition for it. I think it's a pretty intense process.
We should watch that show on it. I'm actually interested.
Yeah, me too.
Just to see, because I think it would really give you a really solid idea of like what K-pop industry is.
Yeah.
But I must say, going back to the original thing of the K-pop movie, we were trying to watch it. So we'd been out in the sun. Everyone was a little overheated. JJ
she kept lying down. She was like tired.
Yeah. So we were like, hey, let's just sit and watch a show in the cool. And we're like, put on the kids' Netflix. We're like, oh, K-pop Demon Hunters. And then we scroll a bit, and Neve, you're like, I wouldn't mind the K-pop.
I kind of wanted to watch. I'd seen it being advertised a lot on Netflix. So I was like, I was curious already.
Well, I'm not going to lie. It caught my eye too, but solely because the animation is wild.
Yeah, the animation style's really fun.
Yeah. Anyhow, it was really fun.
It was really, I really enjoyed it, actually. I would watch it again. Like, I've actually had some of the songs stuck in my head.
Now, I'm trying to figure out, there's an anime called Demon Slayer.
Yeah.
And I think that K-pop Demon Slayer, because I don't know, the demons didn't really make sense. If you like think of it, like, why did they have all these things? Why was it so bad that she had all these marks? They kind of explained it.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure Demon Hunter is like, I know it's a really good anime that everyone likes. And I think that's what it's basically
like based off.
Like the demons are those demons, but then they're like these K-pop stars that fight them.
Cool.
Yeah, if I'm not 100% sure, but I think so, because I kind of saw a few things that like I typed in demon. Yeah, anyhow, check it out, people.
Yeah. I actually really enjoyed it. I thought it was probably one of like the best new animation films to have come out in a long time.
Yeah, I'm not gonna
from my point of view.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not gonna say it was as good as this one, but it was in the same realm as Spider-Man and Enter the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's what the animation reminded me of, because like you know me, like I stick to the animation that I like, and I don't really venture out of that because I think a lot of it's all like CGI bullshit now. But I really enjoyed the animation in that, the same as I did with Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it is funny you say that, because like I am picky with the animation. I like to, like, you could have a really, really funny show, but if the animation's not good on it, I'm just not going to be into it. And I don't know, what good animation doesn't mean it has to be that high level as that K-pop. Like some shows I like their shitty animation, but I like it still. But yeah, that's one thing that's weird is I don't really like cartoons that are that are like 3D animation.
No, me neither.
But if they did them in that style, I would, because it's so stylized. Like it's impressive. It's really stylized, it almost looks real, not literally, but you're like
drawn.
It's borderline.
Drawn, right? Yeah. That's what I think I like about it. I don't like something that's super obviously like a computer 3D model. Like that doesn't do it for me. Like Pixar, when they like first started it off, like OG Pixar, love it. But the further you venture into that, I think it just bores me. Like I'm not entertained by it. But when you do a super stylized animation, that's when I'm like, yeah, I fuck with it.
Yep, I agree. I agree. Yeah, that was nice. And then Monday was work, whatever. Tuesday was a big day.
Canada Day. Happy
Canada Day to Canada.
Canada Day.
Love this country. Proud to be Canadian.
I'm not Canadian.
I know.
But I like it here, so go Canada.
Yeah, that was sweet. Juliet met her aunt and uncle for the first time.
Yeah, it was pretty sweet.
That was pretty cute. And then she got to see Nona and Bup again, which is also pretty cool.
I love Nona.
I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, Nona's a one of a kind. One of a kind, to say the least. Is there any more that vino for this Gino?
I think you've had enough. You only said you were gonna do 2 glasses.
I said that was after this weekend. Okay, I just leave a like or a comment or something if you are in this endless loop of you're gonna quit drinking after the weekend's done, and then inevitably the next weekend starts, and you're like, okay, I'll do this one. If you're in that loop like me, can I get a hell yeah, brother?
I don't think summertime is the time to stop drinking.
I don't know if anyone heard that, but Neve's filling up our wine glasses. So she said she doesn't think summertime's the time to stop drinking. And to that I say, watch me. Excuse me. Okay, so yeah, I was really excited for that, and now I'm wanting to move on to kind of the notes, because last week we didn't talk at all about any of my notes, and I had some stuff I wanted to talk about real bad. Shoot. Okay, so Neve, I'm sorry you've heard this, but I'm gonna do it for the viewers. Okay. So I want you right now to pause what you're doing and close your eyes.
I know exactly what you're gonna do.
Okay, so Neve, just humor us, okay, while we're doing this. Okay, so I'm doing this as well. Our eyes are closed, and I want you to picture a green or a yellow banana. Okay, just picture a yellow banana floating there in front of you. Now, my question to you is this: right now, are you seeing a floating banana, a detailed one? Mm-hmm. You are. Mm-hmm. Can you describe it? Like, can you kind of explain what's going on when you see it, like what you're seeing right now with your eyes closed?
Well, it's just blank space, and then there's a banana. It's got like the brown top and then like a little line down the side, and then it has the sticker on it.
Is it like highly detailed so you can see that it's like got?
I could reach out and eat that banana.
Really?
Like,
is that
it's
easy to do, or do you have to take a
No.
second? It's not easy to do.
No, I mean, yes. No, but yes.
So to our listeners, I actually want you to actually comment on this one, if you could. Do you see anything, or is it more a concept? So like myself, I'm literally the opposite of Neve. So when I close my eyes, if it's dark and there's no light, I see like literal black. But right now I have that weird, like it's black, but it kind of is light white. You know what I mean? Like it's, yeah. So that's all I see. And then if you say to me anything, picture a banana, picture an apple, picture a house.
You can't put it there.
I can't see an image. I obviously know exactly what they look like, but it's more of an abstract thought to me than it is a literal object, right?
What color is the door in the house?
Our house.
No, on the house. Like, you imagine.
Green.
Can you see it now?
No.
How do you know it's green?
Well, because I had to think of what the color of the door is.
Yeah, but how did you know it was green?
Because I imagined it being green.
So how did you imagine it?
Yeah, no, I know. So this is...
Yeah, but that's the kind of stuff you got to do. You've got to, like, train your brain into being, like... that's why I asked you why it was green, because then it makes you think about like a house with a green door, and then when I'm asking you how to get there, you're inevitably getting there.
Hold that thought for a second, because that's good. That's good. I want to. So what happens to there's 5 levels of this, okay, and it's basically from extremely vivid all the way down to, I'm assuming I'm the lowest level where you don't see anything, and it's. This isn't new science. This isn't like AI discovered that this has been known for quite a while. The problem is you don't talk about it, because whenever you ask someone to imagine something, you don't go, do you see it? And they say yes, regardless.
Yeah.
Because you can like from my perspective, I can conceptualize what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But for example, let's say you were to explain something to me. You were like, all right, I want you to picture like, and then you start going into something technical. Picture the inside of a computer as a microprocessor, and a microprocessor is a green chip with this blah, blah, blah. I wouldn't be able to picture that. So your kind of whole thing wouldn't be explained to me. Whereas I'd assume someone like you could kind of build this abstract, like literal image. So anyhow, you're basically on the scale of 1 to 5 on it, and it's like vividness to nothing. And there's no correlation. And so far, people I've tested, it's basically across the board. There's people see very well, some that see nothing, and then some that say it's kind of like they see a fuzzy image. Yeah. So my thing, and this kind of goes back into what you're just talking about, I want to train my brain. I think it's possible to get a better, I'm going to call it imagination. Yeah. That's what I think it might be.
I think so, yeah.
And I have been reading, as we know now, for 2 years about, and I've told you this book I'm reading right now, I'm absolutely in love with, and I'm actually not trying to finish it fast, because I'm enjoying it so much, and I feel like it's the first book I've read where I can put myself there, and I feel like I'm like in this story. So I'm trying to build my imagination. Now, which
I mean, you've also only been like super into reading for like 2 years, so like it takes time for you to build that imagination as well. So it's awesome that you're now discovering that like you can do that, because now the more you read, and especially if you choose books like the one you're reading, you know, like maybe that's just a genre that will like expand your mind.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, it's I fully acknowledge and agree. I'm being patient. Like, I know I'm just like, it's just weird because like, I don't know what I was expecting from reading, but I definitely haven't experienced this in my life ever. Cause like I told you, I've literally went through all of school and never read one of the required books somehow, which I don't even know how that's possible.
Yeah. I'm really not sure how you did that. Yeah. I mean, it was Catholic school.
They
He
were
just
like,
probably gave like the headmaster a little nosh off, little nosh off in the office, and they're like, "We'll pass this one. You're a very pretty boy."
he can't read, but he can gum like none other.
Can that be the bold statement of the week? Oh, sorry. That was too good.
Okay, so
bold statement of the week is you don't need to know how to read if you got good head.
I'm not gonna confirm that, but there's probably a lot of truth to it. Speaking of the bold statement of the week, I was telling the front end for the heart doctors, Dr. Bolt.
Yeah.
I always chat with her, and Teresa. And I was telling her, I was like, yeah, because by the way, this is our 90th podcast.
Holy shit, that's cray.
This is, I think, the 44th for us.
Wow.
Yeah, it's quite crazy. Crazy. I was telling her about my bold statement of the week. And she's, I think, like almost 60. I want to say she's 59.
Yeah.
Or, no, I think she just turned 60, actually. And she was like, oh, so what are you talking about this week? And I was like, well, blah, blah, blah. And I told her a few things that we're going to eventually talk about. And then I was like, oh, yeah, my bold statement of the week. And then I was like, I can't decide which one to choose because I have two for this week that I could choose between. And she was like, oh, well, what are they? And I was like, well, I have to first explain to you what the bold statement of the week is. And she's like, what do you mean? I was like, well, it's a bold statement, but there's a lot of like there's heavy connotations of sarcasm to it. It's just a fun statement, and I'm gonna stick by it because it's the bold statement of the week. And she goes, okay. And I go, well, the first one was old people shouldn't be allowed to vote. And she literally was like, oh. And went to going on her computer, and she was still listening to me, but she was just scrolling, looking at random items that she should purchase for stuff, like on Etsy or something. And I was like, yeah. And then she's like, well, I don't like that one. And I was like, yeah, but it's a bold statement. I think it matters. And then she's like, yeah, but like, I don't get to vote then? I was like, yeah, I kind of have this policy of out with the old, in with the new, and that's where this all came from. And she just didn't understand at all. That's
the problem, like, that I have faced ever since living in Canada. As a general, you're pretty good with it, but Canadians don't understand sarcasm. And as a heavily, heavy sarcastic person, it's hard. It's hard. I feel like I'm pretty sarcastic
myself.
You are. Why. Yeah, you're. That's why. Why do you think we're dating, Derek?
Yeah.
But why do you think we're together?
Yeah, because it's like. I was like, I told her after too, and I could tell her because then I went back. I was like, yeah, and then I told her, oh yeah, and then I was like, followed up. I was like, yeah, so I've had other bold statements. And then I told her the two that I had. Yeah. And she agreed with one of them. She's like, yeah. But you could tell, again, she didn't understand that it's like, it's not a serious statement.
No,
like it's
fun.
A joke. Yeah. Like it's supposed to. And
it's funny.
And so I was like, oh, if you didn't like the first bold statement, you might not like the second one. And then she's like, what is it? And I was like, do you want a house? And she went, a townhouse. And I was like, yeah, you're not gonna like this statement. And she's like, what that? I was like, well, I think that everyone that owns a townhouse or house in Canada should be put in prison to free up more housing. And she just again was just like out, and she just went back to looking at Etsy.
I don't like this.
And then I was just like, okay. And I just laughed. And I was just like, bold statement.
I think
of the week.
Like you really just have to laugh. Like, I think sarcasm is one of the like peak forms of humor, and I use it so much. in my day-to-day life that people, like, especially people in Canada, can't tell when I'm being serious or not.
It's just...
And that's really detrimental, because to me, if you knew when or not I was being serious, it would make for a very different conversation.
True. Very true. But
it just, like, goes over some people's heads, and you're like, okay, well, what I just said was really funny, but you don't get it.
Don't get it. Yeah, like, but imagine you went like this you were like, I'm about to be sarcastic, and then the person still didn't get it. You're like, yeah. Anyhow, for me, I felt so happy doing it. Like, it made me laugh so hard. Like, she basically, specifically after the first one, she was uninterested. And then when I told her she should be in prison, she actually was just not listening to me anymore. But, like, she was listening to me, but she was like purposely trying to be like, go away, I'm mad at you, right? And so I was like, well, you picked the wrong person to do this to. So I
let me keep going.
And I just literally read every single thing I had. And she's like, oh, really? Cool. Yeah. Oh, and I was just, my client wasn't there. I had nothing to do. And then the only reason I stopped is because my client showed up.
That's what you call being antagonizing, and it's one of my favorite things to do.
Love you, Teresa. Congratulations on becoming a postpartum doula, a registered one.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go, Teresa.
She's sweet, though. I do love her. I used to bring her a candy from, we used to have the saltwater taffies in our thing.
Yeah.
We used to get like 9 pounds of saltwater taffy, and every month they'd have to refill it because it'd be gone.
What?
Yeah, the problem was they'd put saltwater taffy in the front little waiting area.
Oh, dangerous.
And if you eat one, you see there, like, if you don't like saltwater taffy, you're not going to get this. But if you like saltwater taffy, I know you don't, right?
I like saltwater taffy.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, we call it toffee in England.
Okay. But isn't that different than saltwater toffee? I'm pretty sure it is.
Not like slightly. Like, saltwater taffy is more soft.
Yes.
But it's the same flavor. It's basically the same thing.
Huh. Okay. Well, these ones are all different flavors, right? And so if
like the licorice ones.
There's like there's like everything. There's like watermelon.
Oh.
Orange, like.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, that's different.
Yeah, it's different,
yeah, that's
right?
Different.
Yeah. And so anyhow, I started by bringing her one, and that's how we became friends, because she's down the hall. She's like, can you sneak me one? And then I'd bring her one on Wednesday, and now I always go in on Wednesday because I work there Thursday afternoon, and I'm like, 1 day warning, I'll be here tomorrow. Okay, you can't just walk away like that.
Sorry, I need a wee-wee.
That's whack. Okay, I'm gonna call Neve out on this while she's gone. So Neve, I walked away to go get our food, and there'll be times where I'm talking, and it'll be like I'm talking to Neve. Like, just so those of you that don't understand, it's not like you're just sitting here talking to a wall. Me and Neve are like conversing back and forth, looking at each other, and I'll be in the middle of a story, and she'll just get up and walk away and go to the bathroom or do something, and then I'm kind of like caught in this like halfway of Neve's left, so now I have to continue my story, but now I'm just talking to no one, but I have to continue it for you guys, the listeners. And then Neve, oh, welcome back, hi. And then Neve, I literally went to go, she's telling a story, so kind of, you think it's kosher to walk away. I go to get our dinner that gets delivered, and she just stops, is like, you're not allowed to walk away. Yeah, that was whack.
Yeah, but here's the reasoning behind it, is because you're a really good talker and I'm not.
That's a terrible. We'll get better at talking.
But I can tell a story when I'm like telling it to people, but then when you like leave my eye line, I'm like,
yeah, that's how I feel too. Yes, it is.
Yeah, but you can keep it going. That's like, you could pause it if you want to.
Okay,
but
yeah,
you can just talk.
I think if you were like, hey, I got to go to the bathroom, we could pause it. That would be better.
Oh, you want me to do that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because it makes, I'd be like, if I'm talking for a long time, you can interrupt me. But if it's just like normal, just be like, okay,
well,
can we
I
pause?
feel like I choose to go when I know that you're at the beginning of telling a story. So I'm like, oh, Derek's got this. And then I go pee.
If you want to practice this at home, go talk to a wall about your favorite events of the day, and you'll know how it feels.
I'm still listening when I go, though. I do that, but I do that to you all the time. I say, like, I'm still listening, but, like, continue your story.
But aren't listening.
I am
listening. Oh,
listening.
you are listening. Oh, okay.
I am listening.
You're gonna
That's
drop
why
a bomb.
I tell you.
I do that all the time.
No, but that's why I tell you when I'm, like, walking around, it's just because I'm doing stuff, but I'll go, like, I'm still listening to you. Like, I'm just walking around.
Okay, I have a question for you that one of my clients told me that's a woman.
Okay.
She's, how old is she? 50
something.
50 something.
Okay.
She's one of my favorite clients.
Yeah.
I've had her for a long time. She told me that the difference, there's a huge, one thing she's observed as a difference between men and women is like women just need to talk sometimes. Like they'll be like, they don't want an answer from you. They just want to vent and say shit. And all you really have to say is like, oh yeah, what a bitch, or fuck that shit. Like it doesn't matter. It's not about you think they're a bitch. It's just like agree and then it's done.
Yeah.
But then she always runs in troubles with her husband because anytime she says anything, he tries to provide a solution. And she's like, I'm not looking for a solution.
That's a very common thing with men and women, though.
Yeah,
that's just like a super common thing.
That's what she was saying, though. That's what she was like. It's like a man thing of like, if there's a problem, solve it. And she's like, I just want us to talk about it and it's done.
Yeah.
And I thought that was interesting to hear. Because it changed my perspective on a whole bunch of conversations I've had with women where I'm like, huh.
It's true. No, but I think you're quite good at that, though. I think you're quite good at just like, because I feel like I don't need to talk about things a lot. Like I'm quite good at handling my own, but when I do have that moment where I need to vent, like you just like take it and like listen to me. And then you're like,
that's good.
You might be like, I don't know what to say, but I'm like, okay, that's good because I don't need you to say anything. I just need you to like hear what I'm saying right now.
Yeah, that's interesting because like I think it's like literally with guys. Well, I don't know. I wonder now, actually, hearing you say that, it just kind of popped in my head. I wonder, I don't think guys are much different, but I wonder like they need to vent, but they don't because maybe our brain is like, since it's wired to problem solve, it's like, I'm not going to tell someone about something because there's no way to, in the air quotes, solve my problem. So what's the point of talking about it? But really the point is you talk about it and it's solved. Like that's you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
but yeah, I feel like that, yeah, that is true because guys like, they'll try and solve something in their head and then when you talk about it, it's just like it was something that like they were overthinking in their head. Do you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, but if you just talk about it, then like you talk about it and it's done. You know what I mean? You come up with solutions or not, or you just get it off your chest.
Yeah.
But I think that's a really important thing to do is to just talk.
Yeah, and well, that's the yeah, that's what I mean. Is it's like it's not like this thing of like I think it's maybe more. It's not women do this, men don't. It's women, they have the ability to talk, and whereas men, they just, again, like going back to maybe that's not the best. It's just the
it's a very
thought,
stereotypical thing.
But yeah, because I'm just like thinking of it now because I think one thing I'd really be interested to I should talk to Connor about this. Me and Connor literally had to save a whole bunch of people's lives, and I did CPR on someone.
Yeah.
And I got the one thing that was interesting. I basically got a hero's reward for doing what I did.
Yeah.
But Connor was also, the only thing Connor didn't do was CPR. He literally was there with me the whole time. He was the one that told me I had to start calling cops.
Connor's so good in emergency situations.
Yeah, he is. He's like, he remains calm and cool. And so, but I think it's like, part of it was me doing CPR. If you're the one doing it, you're always going to get more of a hero's thing because you're like, but like Connor literally was holding the other person. He was holding the phone while I was doing CPR. So he was like right there is just as important. but we both had PTSD from that.
Yeah.
But the difference was through my job, I just talked to so many people, and thankfully, like my clients, like are a lot of the relationships I have with them, the ones that are like always there. It's not the same relationship as you have with someone like that comes in even, let's say, every like 2 or 3 months for a massage, or I don't know, once every like couple months for a massage. For it's like for example, Ruma, she heard about all of that stuff because like I was going through like the crisis of the post-traumatic stress, crazy. But I was able to talk, and then I'm also a talkative person, so I was able to just like be like, this happened, blah blah, and I just kept talking until I didn't need to anymore. But I wonder what happened to Connor, because he's like the opposite of all of that.
But I do feel like that's why you have talking therapy, right? Like the whole point of like therapy and therapists.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying.
It's it's just to talk stuff through, because sometimes all you need to do is just like talk it out. And then you can like, okay, close that chapter, done. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Which is why like therapists exist.
I wish that I could be a therapist. I think
you'd be such a good therapist.
I would be a really good one, but I just don't have the clinical or the
well, the schooling is just schooling.
The schooling is it's like, if I couldn't
it's intense as well.
If I couldn't become a physio, which is, by the way, fucking hard as shit. There's no way I could become a therapist, because they're like, it's like a notch above that in terms of, it's just why. But I actually think that I have like the abilities to do all the stuff.
100%.
But the problem is, I also think that if I actually did it as a profession, to get all the knowledge you would gain, I think I wouldn't be the same person.
I agree. And also it's like a really weighty task as well. Like I don't know how you do your current job with the amount you talk to people and like take on energy and stuff. Like I just could no way do that. Yeah, it's tiresome. But I'm very like protective of my own energy. I'm like, I don't want to invite you in if we're not gonna get on.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. It's tiresome, but it's honestly, I just find that I always poor and famous, baby. Poor and famous. Not poor and famous, poor and famous.
Poor and famous.
Just to clarify for those, I'm nasally. I'm a nasally person, okay? Okay, I haven't even got into any of the topics I want to talk about.
That's your own fault.
Okay, so, how do you want to go about this? Are you looking for something more from the past? Are we looking for something more serious, something funny, something a little crazy?
Do crazy then funny.
Crazy then funny?
Yeah. Wait, is the crazy kind of funny, or is the crazy kind of crazy? How crazy is the crazy? On a scale of 1 to 10.
The crazy is like a crazy person. And the funny is a pretty funny one after. Okay.
Okay, just do that.
Okay, so do you know who Liverking is?
Yeah.
Did you hear he got arrested for terrorism?
I didn't know he got arrested for terrorism, but I heard he was like stalking Joe Rogan.
It was, yes, Joe Rogan. Derek from Plates.
Derek from Derek?
Derek
from you?
Me. More Plates, More Dates. He's a guy that's he's like a fitness guy, and he's been on Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
And then there was another dude that was another fitness YouTuber. And so like, okay, first off, we both know Liverking's crazy. We watched the doc on him, right? Or did you watch it?
I didn't watch it.
Like,
no.
He's wild. The dude's like, he lives by the 9 ancestral commandments, which are like eat raw meat. Honestly, I actually dig some of them. Like, it's like protect your family, get out in the sun, like exercise. Like, I think like but the whole thing with him is he claimed that he got to be this like monkey-like man through eating raw meat when it was just clearly steroids. And then he got busted for the steroids.
Yeah.
And like he was on like Logan Paul's podcast, and like at its like peak popularity, and Logan just was like, are you on steroids, or have you ever done steroids? And he goes, no, man, I just followed these 9 primal tenets. And then eventually, and there's like all these things.
Okay, and then it comes out that he's on steroids.
And then he admits he's on them.
Okay.
And the amount of people that were like crying, like, I thought he wasn't on steroids. And I'm literally sitting there and I'm like, you are so fucking stupid if you thought this guy wasn't on steroids. No, literally, even people on steroids don't look like that unless they do a ton of steroids.
Yeah.
So anyhow, I watched this thing on, he gets arrested on terrorism charges because he threatens Joe Rogan, Derek, and this other fitness guy. But I'm just going to refer to Joe Rogan so I don't have to say all of them, okay? But it was the three of them for everything. And like, he keeps talking about vitamin K. Now, do you know what vitamin K is?
Is it ketamine?
Well, there is a vitamin K, but yeah, if you're talking about vitamin K, you're talking about ketamine. Yeah. Right? And so he's like, does all these videos of him like gorilla running up to his phone, and he gets down like right up and he's like, I'm coming for you, Joe Rogan. And you can see his pupils, Neve. One of his pupils is huge and one's so small. And he's like red in the face. I'll show you it after. And then he's like walking around with like a huge axe and he's being like just clearly like, I'm going to fight you, Joe Rogan, man to man. And then like the next snap comes out or they're like videos. And eventually it comes to him being like this. Joe, all you have to do is have me on your podcast and things can be better and I won't fight you. So like this whole thing basically seems like this long roundabout of him trying to get on his podcast. Yeah. But he was actually, because you know Joe has his comedy studio called The Mothership, right? Yeah. It's like a comedy cellar. He's actually there running it all the time. Okay. So it's like people know where he is. Yeah. And he was in freaking Austin, Texas in an Airbnb, like anyhow, when the police showed up, he had a box with Joe Rogan's face on it that he had flashed, and he had a green canister that was a vial of powder. So the speculation is the powder was more ketamine. And he shows in one of the videos, you go, I have a present for you, Joe. And he goes like this and shows his camera and closes it. He goes, not for you to see yet, but you slow it down, you can see a gun in it. And so he got arrested.
Oh my God.
Just wild. Just wild.
Like, that's what happens when you give fucking crazy people like an ounce of power. Mm-hmm. Like, that's fucking... Are we shocked? Are we shocked that we gave this, like, drugged up fucking wacko dude, like, a ton of power and then he thinks he can just rule the world? Like, well, what? What
happened? Why? The reason he was going after Joe and the Derek guy was on one of Joe Rogan's podcasts. The Plates Dates guy came on, and Joe asked him. He was like, "Do you think Liverking's on steroids?" Yeah. And the Derek guy was like, "Fuck yeah! Like it's impossible not to be. Like what a joke this guy is." And then Liverking kept trying to get on the podcast, and Joe wouldn't allow him. And
he said he wasn't like mentally stable.
Yeah, and he didn't, but he was like, he just didn't want him there because he was all juiced up and lied and all this stuff. And that was when his whole thing went under. Was that podcast was when everyone's like, yo, fuck this dude. And then he had to come out and admit he was on steroids. Anyhow, that was wild. That's just like I'm sorry. That's crazy.
That's fucking nuts, dude.
You have to do a lot of drugs to not only want to like go and assassinate someone or kill them, but to think the right idea is to post it all on social media.
Like, holy shit,
it's wild.
America's real fucked up right now. America's fucked.
Yeah, it's really fucked.
It's real fucked.
My favorite YouTuber, that's Will Tennyson. He's like that really buff dude. He's from Toronto, has the like coiffed hair and all that.
Maybe.
And yeah, I like him. He's really funny. Mm-hmm. But he goes, one of his things a year ago was spending 24 hours with Liverking, and he goes in there and he's like sitting there, they're eating all these raw meats, and he's like, oh God, and he's like eating them, and then Liverking's mowing down, and then he's like, so like, I have a good question for you. Of the 9 what is it called, primal tendencies or whatever, what is the one you like the least? And he's like, well, the number one thing I don't like is being a liar. you shouldn't lie, because this was after it all came out. He lied,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh my gosh, like this guy is such a loser. Okay, now you want to hear.
What a dude.
Now you want to hear the funny one?
Yeah.
You might not find this funny. I thought it was really funny. So I went into McDonald's to get a coffee. And the ice cream machine was broken.
Oh, was it now?
Yeah.
No, do you know I actually read an article on this the other day?
What?
That the McDonald's, the reason that the ice cream machine is always broken is because it takes 4 hours of intense cleaning every time. Every time it like runs out, you have to clean, like it's a 4-hour cleaning process.
That you can only get done by the mechanics that made it.
I don't think it's that. I don't think it's that at all. I just think it takes so long. And when you're at McDonald's, it's like go. So who has time to spend 4 hours cleaning a fucking
I don't believe that
machine?
I don't believe that.
I literally read an article on it the other day.
I know, but you can't believe everything you read. How could it possibly take 4 hours to clean up a machine? I don't know.
Do you know how disgusting those machines are?
Do
you know how gross those machines are?
By the way,
they're
Joach
churning
doesn't
up
believe
fucking
you.
milk all day. Joach, actually.
Yeah.
Did we talk about Joach last week on the podcast?
I mean, I always talk about him, even if it's not on the podcast.
But let's talk about him again, because I just want to take a moment right now to throw it back. And we probably did talk about this, but at Rachel's wedding.
Yeah.
Joach was like, I'd never been like drunk with Joach before, and Joach really fucking hit the spot when you're drunk, you know what I mean? Like, he was up for anything, he was having a good time. He had a cape at one point.
He did have a cape. Yeah.
And
I mean,
like, honestly, that is what I look for in a like drunk person. If I'm partying with you and we're getting drunk together, like, that's what I want to see. He came in the sprinklers with us. He was just up for it all.
Oh yeah.
And I just gotta send another shout out to Joach for that.
He's
I told Sierra at the time, I was like,
prime.
that you guys are perfect together.
I know, I love that dude. He's so dope.
Yeah.
Yeah, Joach is just swag off the charts.
Yeah,
and if
so,
you
like, so
and if you
much.
don't believe me, come around and tell me after a few days that you don't think the same.
Dude, all I know is I want Joach at every birthday party I ever have from now on. Like,
okay. I have another statement about McDonald's. First
wait,
off,
you just, well, that was the funny thing, is that it was broken?
yeah, because you were like, they never break, and that's because I said the conspiracy last week.
I said they break, but I said that the reason that they
Well,
are always broken
Joach said that you're part of big McDonald's conspiracy, so where's the kickbacks, Neve? I'm going to go talk to them on Monday, and I'm going to go, hey, what's the deal with the ice cream machine? Does it take 4 hours to clean? And we'll see what they say.
Okay.
Okay, we'll see. So,
Bet.
Yeah, bet.
Put $20 on it. Shake my hand.
What's the bet? That takes 4 hours to clean?
I'll tell you that I was right.
Okay, so I'm going to ask
Shake
them.
my
I will.
motherfucking
But
hand.
so I'm going to ask, no. The loser takes us out to Steamworks. But this is the bet. I'm going to ask them.
Yeah.
Is it true it takes 4 hours to properly clean the ice cream machine?
No. You gotta say, is it true that only McDonald's technicians come in to fix the ice cream machines?
Okay. Bet.
Bet.
I'm not taking you anywhere but Steamworks.
So for anybody that doesn't know us personally, I go into everything with 100% confidence. And I could very well be wrong. And if I am, I will admit it. But I am really confident in the fact that I'm right now.
Okay. Well, that's sweet, because I just got myself a free meal. Do you want to go get more wine?
Do you want to pause the podcast, babe?
No, I can actually go solo cholo for this one. While you
Oh, is that right? Now you can go solo cholo?
Si, señorita! Ay, 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 ay!
Chirping on me for getting up and walking when you could have done it the whole time. Harsh bullshit.
So, Neve.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell. Damn it, I should have paused. No, I'm gonna keep going. I'm just gonna give a little. So I want to be so rich one day that I can pull a Mario Balotelli. So most people that don't know soccer very well won't know who Mario Balotelli is, but he was a striker for Italy, and he was like shithousery at its finest. So he was like 21, 22. He had scored a huge goal for Italy to take them, I believe, I don't know if it was the semis or the finals of the Euros. And then he signed for Man City as one of their like premier big signings when they first became really rich. So he was just filthy rich and famous really young, right? Yeah. But the underlying of Mario Balotelli was he was the most arrogant prick shithouse ever. He would picture his custom gold Lamborghini. Yeah. He would drive it around the streets of Manchester. And he would say he sees somewhere he wants to go in. He would just park his car and get out in the middle of the street and leave his car there. And then it would start getting tickets and all these people would show up and all this stuff. And he just didn't give a fuck. So his car would like either have tons of tickets all over it or it'd get towed. And he was just like, I don't care. Yeah. I want to be that rich. And I'm going to do it passively just by chilling too.
I was like, you want to work for that?
No. So like while everyone else is grinding, I'll be chilling, but raking in the dough. You know what I mean?
No.
Oh, okay.
Gotta work for the money. You could be a male stripper.
Yeah, I could. Easy.
Yeah, just have a fireman hat. That's literally all you need.
I was gonna say
some rhythm.
I was gonna say just have no rhythm. Okay, Neve.
Yeah.
Do you think the world is ending or is in like a downward spiral?
Yeah.
Just in general. No,
yeah.
I'm dead serious.
Yes.
You believe that?
Yeah.
Why?
I just think that if the world doesn't end in our lifetime, it'll end very shortly after. And I think...
I'm not referring to our lifetime, which I also disagree. I'm just wondering, I mean, like, you know, right now, the sentiment of right now.
Okay, but what do you mean when you say the world ending? Do you mean like the world ceasing to exist, you mean like the human race?
No,
ending?
I mean like World War III's coming. We're like all the like bad stuff, and then we're gonna nuke each other. All that. Do you have that sentiment that's inevitable at this point?
Like nuclear war, if it happens, we're all busted up. So I think people are trying to avoid that. So not necessarily that, but I think that with like AI and robots and stuff, like the human race is gonna become very submissive very quickly.
Okay, like, so that's kind of what I mean by the world ending. It doesn't mean like
the world
literal,
we know ending. Yeah.
It doesn't mean literal. It just means like kind of like the good times. Like,
yeah, I think that's pretty like imminent, and I'm like talking like 10-15 years.
See, I actually disagree.
Okay.
And I wouldn't have disagreed till very recently, but just through conversations I've had with people and things I've kind of like read and stuff, I think that people just want the world to end for some weird reason, but they don't literally want the world to end. And I think the zeitgeist, like that being like the ether or whatever, like is floating around, like the sentiment of people for some reason seem to think everything is so bad right now, and it's not. It's just absolutely not. It's just not. Even though there's a lot of like I know there's things around the world that are hot topics right now, and they are real. I don't want to downplay like all the stuff that's going on in America and Israel, Palestine, Iran, and Russia, Ukraine, blah blah. Like it's all real, but I feel like there's this like underlying of people like it's so negative, like, oh, we're fucked, and we're not fucked. Things are gonna change, but they always change, literally always. That's the constant through human history, is it's always changed, and it's changed so radically from what it was to something new until it's just that's the normal, until that's not normal to a new. And so I just am trying to put out there to all the people that are listening that are like, oh no, we're fucked, we're screwed, the world's ending, everything's so bad. It's not as bad as you think. This is how it always is. Look around you, love the people around you, enjoy stuff around you. And I think you'll find in 20, 30 years from now, when we're still alive and everything's still ticking, that we've gone through a period of it's like the ebbs and flows, and I think we're kind of in this down of everything is so negative, and I'm just trying to bring attention to it, because I think that's wrong. And hopefully we maybe even, it's so dumb to say I'm changing anything, but even if it makes one or two people kind of think how I do, where I'm like, oh, actually I'm not as stressed, I feel like things are going to be okay.
Yeah,
that's just why I'm saying that.
I mean, I agree with you completely on like focusing on what you have around you rather than the bigger like picture of the world, because I think that's just a really important thing to do, is focus on what you have and what you are and be grateful for that. So I completely agree with that. But I'm also a like mega pessimist in the terms of like, I think it is inevitable that like technology is going to overtake us and choose to do what they will, but I just don't think there's any like worth in putting my time into thinking about that. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah. I'm just enjoying myself, enjoying my life, and like being grateful for what I have. Yeah. I don't need to think about the future. I don't need to think about what's going on in the political world. Like, it's not affecting me right now, and if it does start to affect me, then I'll deal with that when it comes. I really think you're wasting your time and effort if you're putting thought into all the negative that's going on in the world.
Yeah, I agree. I had my first 4 clients today were all hyper political, like doomsday people, and I did hear some pretty sad stuff, and I looked it up like it was true. Yeah, but it just made me go like, I don't want to see this. I'm not going to say it because it's horrific. It's like actually just so sad. And like, I just kept thinking, I'm like, I feel like people would just keep like so focused on these negative things. Yeah. And I will say this about the whole, like, I agree with you. Like, I think the like tech evolution AI thing is an inevitable thing. So it's like, what's the point in being worried about it? And it's, I think whatever it is, it's not going to be painful. I think it's going to be gradual and unnoticed until
that's what I mean. It's not going to be like a big blow up thing. It's just, it's going to happen.
Like one day you and I'll have a chip in our hand because that's the only way to pay for things into your ID, and we'll think it's fucked until it's just not fucked, and then something else will happen, and we'll probably be dead before truly anything like really, really wild happens.
I don't think that.
You don't think so?
No.
I mean, I don't know. I think that you're right in a way, but I think I don't know. We'll see. I don't think you're wrong in saying that. Some of the stuff I've read and heard on books that are about people from the World Economic Forum that like lead it. I don't know. I was reading a book or listening to a book from 2016 that was talking about nanobots that you could inject into yourself to like fight internal disease. Yeah. And that was in 2016. Yeah. They were doing stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, we're already putting like basically nuclear waste into people to cure cancer.
Yeah. Well, I would recommend to anyone curious, Klaus Schwab, who's the head of the World Economic Forum. I think he's not anymore, but he was for a very long time.
He goes by Klausy.
Uncle Klaus Schwab. I think he's evil.
I need to pee. Do I need to tell you that I'm going to pee?
Yeah, because I'm going to talk about Klaus. I would have paused it if it wasn't for me talking about Uncle Klausy.
Oh, see, I took a prime opportunity to go pee.
This was an off chance.
This was the thing is like, I know you're starting a story, so now I need to go pee, but you told me to announce it, so... Hey everybody, I'm gonna go pee while Derek talks about Klausy boy.
Okay, well I'm gonna.
Are you gonna pause it now?
No, when you come back, I'm still gonna riff for a bit. So this will be like, okay, I'm gonna actually tell you guys. This is actually a deeper reason into why I left. Why I left the social media world. So I felt like I was on Twitter pre Elon buying it. And I thought it was pretty sweet. It was the only social media I'd use because I got rid of everything else. And so I just like happened to have it. And I went back on it. And then Elon bought it. And I don't care what anyone says or thinks, because I was living through pre-Elon Twitter. That was the only social media I had. And then Elon bought Twitter, and a whole bunch of new information started popping, like things you hadn't seen before started popping up. So it put me on to the World Economic Forum. And I'm not going to go into it on this, but I could literally write not a book, that's a lie, I can't write a book, but I could go off and tell you so much about what's so fucked up about them, but I'm not going to get into all that stuff. But the leader of the World Economic Forum is Klaus Schwab.
You haven't even got on to Klausy?
No, because I was explaining stuff of the backstory. And basically what happened, this is kind of why I started reading too. A lot of my friends, I would like post things that I've read about, and they would all basically not say that they would be like, what, your information's wrong, you're reading conspiracies, blah, 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 all this stuff. You should actually read real literature if you're going to comment on things. So I was like, okay, well,
bet.
I was like, well, you know what's a good thing to read about? The head of the world, the president of it that started all the founder, he's wrote a whole bunch of books. So maybe reading his books would be a really good place to start to see if my conspiracies are true. But I couldn't read them at this point because they were even now I think they're very heavy, like literature.
Yeah.
But I listened to all of his books, and like I said, I'm not going to get into why I hate the World Economic Forum and all this stuff, but his book, The Fourth Industrial Revolution, is actually an incredible book.
Yeah.
Because it's the head of the World Economic Forum talking about all the advancements, and so what the Fourth Industrial Revolution is. Do you know what it is? I might have told you about it, but do you remember?
It rings a bell.
So First Industrial Revolution was combustion engines, running water and electricity.
That's a good start.
No. First,
what do you know?
Yes. Okay. So it was combustion engines and like the industrial stuff, right? The Second Industrial Revolution, I fucked it. Yeah, no, it was right. No, it was electricity.
Okay.
And running water.
Right.
Okay, so be able to have like plumbing and everything working in your house. The Third Industrial Revolution was internet, the digital age, which is internet and all that. Okay. And so for the longest time, we've been living in this age of, for the most part, most of the world has like combustion, like they have gas and like all that, right? But not all the world has running water and electricity.
Yeah.
So there's places in the world that haven't even, or are just entering the Second Industrial Revolution. And we entered the third, or we were with the first world was in the Third Industrial Revolution, which is digital. Yeah. So we, up until very recently, thought we were on this like upward trajectory of progression that was like insane. It was basically straight if you looked at it like how advancements, right. And so we're like way above people that don't have water and electricity in terms of where we're sitting and learning and advancing. And now we've entered the Fourth Industrial Revolution, which is AI and quantum computing, which somehow has made our straight up trajectory graph actually not that big of a peak compared to how intense this new thing is, right? Yeah. So this whole book is talking about how do we enter the Fourth Industrial Revolution, AI, quantum computing, but bring the rest of the world that doesn't have electricity and water into that. Point, yeah. Now think of that. How do you explain to people quantum computing and AI if they don't even get computers yet in the internet? Yeah. So it's like this huge offset. And the whole book talks about what we have to do this. And quite frankly, I think it's going to be tragic. It's going to be shitty for everyone that's not really, really like absurdly rich. Yeah. But also within the book, it talks about all these new technology, like, for example, the injection of nanobots to cure cancers and fight all this stuff. So I just would recommend The Fourth Industrial Revolution by Klaus Schwab to anyone that has like an interest in what our future looks like, because things I've listened to in that book are happening now. And I'm like tripped out by it because I'm like, yo, like not all of it's negative, shitty stuff. A lot of it's actually like mind boggling. You're like, what the fuck? You can do that now? Yeah. Like one of the things it talks about is, being able the top surgeons will be able to perform surgery anywhere in the world at any time. And we have that now. You know, surgeons can like from across the ocean use a robot and it's them and a robot completing a surgery. Yeah. Like they called that.
That's pretty wild.
That's wild. Yeah. That was while you were gone.
That's not on Grey's Anatomy for sure. See, that whole thing, I could have had a whole poop by now. You wouldn't even know. I know, but you got, but okay. If I'm going to talk about like the World Economic Forum. That's always the times I choose, though, is when you're talking about something. I'm like, oh, Derek's going to explain something, so I'll go pee.
Yeah, that's true.
See?
So most of the time when I talk, Neve walks off. Okay, I have a preposterous thing I want to talk about.
Preposterous thing?
So fucking preposterous.
Yeah, okay.
You're gonna be pissed.
Give me the preposterous awesome.
How much do you think medium coffee at McDonald's costs?
$1.49.
Close, actually. $1.35.
I was so close.
That was pretty. That was really good. You. I wouldn't have known if it wasn't for I'm there. All the time.
I get one every day.
Guess how much a McDonald's hash brown costs?
How much?
Take a guess. You were pretty close on the last one.
$3.59.
That's high. $2.75.
Okay.
But that's preposterous to me. I think that's crazy when you think of what a McDonald's hash brown is. It's $2.75. 2 hash browns is $5.50.
Yeah, that's pretty.
That's wild.
Crazy.
That's crazy, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's even crazier if you remember I was ranting last week or 2 weeks ago about how McDonald's charges us 25 cents to have a bag.
A bag.
So right now, if you get a hash brown and a bag, it's $3.
That's a ripoff.
That's fucked. No wonder everyone's poor. Neve, how you feeling there? Because I can keep going, or I can go on my bold statement, or we can.
I thought we did bold statement.
I have not done my bold statement.
No. What about rapping?
That's what. Okay, you want to throw some rap down?
Yeah. Do you want to throw some rap down?
Skibbity skoo. Let's go. It's cool.
Also, I'm so happy that Joach knew what Man's Not Hot was. I think I said it the last podcast, but I'm gonna say it again.
Wait, what's Man's Not Hot?
You know the rap freestyle.
Yeah.
I think it's something called something in the booth. Can't remember what it's called, but it's when like grime artists go in and freestyle, and this guy did one. Is Man's Not Hot. It's really funny.
Okay, can you pick my words, or do you want me to pick your words?
You go first.
I'm rapping first?
Yeah.
What are my words?
Actually, no. Give me words first. You just look around.
Yeah. Anubis.
Oh, okay.
Dino.
Yeah.
Like dinosaur, but dino.
Yeah.
And chorizo.
Chorizo?
Like the sauce.
Anubis, dino, and chorizo. You gave me 2 rhyming words, so I feel like it's kind of...
You're welcome.
Thank you.
I wanted it to be easy on you because you're not good at this.
Oh, hello. This is an intense one. Hang a sec, let me get a little...
Swiggity, 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 sway. Everybody thinks that you're motherfucking gay.
Derek. Okay, this is more. Okay. We're taking souls into the underworld like we're Anubis, but kid, you never solved this Rubik's Cube. Yeah, I'm a dino, but I'll never be an albino. What's the last word? I can't remember, but I'll tell you that next December. Derek, what was the last word?
I'm trying to remember.
Oh, chorizo. Right. Paella.
That was really good until I forgot. Damn,
I always tried.
That was really good until you forgot chorizo.
Yeah, thank you. I need to have them written down. We should do that. We should write them down before we start potting. Okay, let me.
Yeah,
give you
actually,
your
you know
words.
what? Mm-hmm. How about for next week's? After we're done this pod,
we should just put words in a hat.
I think,
and then pick 3
sure,
words.
but I think we should do them off air right after this, and then let's give it the week, and let's actually see if we can do a little rhyme and see if
okay. Like actually make like a
you can pick your own thing and and we'll see what we come back with.
Okay,
Cool,
yeah,
cool.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
But for now, your words are Diego, cow, wine. Okay.
Like wine or whining? Like wine.
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Okay, one sec.
Can you hear that?
Diogo, cow, wine.
You can't just say them all.
Diogo, cow, wine.
That's not a rap.
Yo, let me do my rap.
Okay.
His name is Diogo. His name is Diogo Jota. He plays for Liverpool. He was a G. He put goals in the back of the net like ease. Diogo. He ain't no cow. He ain't no Chelsea player. He ain't no cow. He's Diogo. He's my boy. I love that man. Diogo. Rest in peace, Diogo Jota.
Wine.
I'll raise my wine to my boy. My boy, he put so many goals home. I'll remember him forever. Cheers to Diogo Jota. It wasn't good, but I love that man. Thank you, Diogo.
I love your raps, babe.
All right, so for next week, our raps are gonna be a little more curated.
Yeah, we'll do some curated raps next week.
Well,
we'll curate the shit out.
Because here's the thing that's awkward is we're both lyricists, and yes, and lyricists don't just come up with it on the spot. They really put time and effort into each sound that comes out of their mouth, and that's what I find hard about freestyle. That's it. All right, so next week's is gonna be real good.
Okay, next week, we'll think about them before. I don't think we should have the whole week. I think we should have a good 10 minutes pre-pod to just come up with our beats.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, because if it's a whole week, I'll be like, yo, this is so good, and you'll still laugh. I'm like, hey, that's not funny, Neve.
Hey, cow, wine.
Diogo, cow, wine. Diogo, cow. Okay, can I make a bold statement?
Yeah.
It's the bold statement of the week. Bold statement of the week. Bold statement of the week. All right. This one's a little less controversial than the ones that got all the old people hate me.
Really?
Yeah, a lot of old people have commented on how they don't like the vote one. Okay, this is a wild one.
Yeah.
So, you know how kids always smoke in the smoke pit out back?
Mm.
This is this is probably my worst bold statement.
Okay.
So I think that and then you also know how teachers are tragically underfunded and underpaid.
Mm-hmm. Tragic.
I think that you should put... God, I can't believe I'm saying this one. But I stand by it.
Mm-hmm.
I think they should start selling cigarettes and vapes in schools, but all the money goes towards the teachers to pay them.
I mean, I see where you're coming from.
You're going to smoke. If you're going to smoke, you're going to smoke. You're going to go outside a 7-Eleven underage and get cigarettes. Or the new one's apparently vaping, which I just feel like there has to be some way.
Up the vape.
But the youth, man. There has to just be some way that we can capitalize on underage nicotine addiction, but give it to the teachers.
Do you know they've outlawed cigarettes in the UK?
Wait, what?
Yeah, so if you were born before, I think it might be 2002, 2003, you'll never be able to buy cigarettes.
If you were born before?
Or after.
So like so you and I can buy them, but once we die out, you're not allowed.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It's a good strategy, to be fair. Like, I think it's very smart. Like, it's it's already, like, because smoking in England especially was such a big thing.
I mean,
such a big thing.
You know what was the number one thing that people from Canada would do?
What?
They'd go to Europe, whether it be when they were like 15 or 16, or like they're like, yo, peace out, high school, I'm gonna go travel now. Always would come back smokers from Europe. It's all of Europe.
Yeah. It's all of Europe, because it wasn't like, up until, like, I still remember when I was a kid, people, like, you would go and sit in the smoking and non-smoking parts of a restaurant and stuff like that.
I actually had that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's funny because growing up in England, like, everyone smokes. Like, everyone smokes. Did your parents? No. Well, my dad did.
Yeah.
My dad did, but never around me. And it's actually super ironic, because I remember one time when I must have been like 8 to 10 or something, and I knew that my mom didn't want him smoking, and I got into his car and there was a pack of cigarettes there, and I got out the pack of cigarettes, broke them all, and then put them back in. And then he got in the car, he thought he was being all slick, just like slid them in his pocket, and he didn't realize until later that I'd like broken all of the cigarettes. But then really ironically, I started smoking when I was like 14, 15. And they found out I smoked and went like berserk. Like, they were so unhappy. But then I smoked for probably like, what, 8 to 10 years before I actually like just stopped smoking. I mean,
cigarettes. You don't smoke even when you're drunk. You don't smoke anymore.
Majority of the time, yeah.
Like sometimes, but it's
like,
not even
maybe
like...
I'll have one cigarette.
Yeah, but like okay,
but like
so,
rarely.
Yeah, but sure.
But when we met, I was like still smoking. Yeah.
But like even then though, like, or not then, but like now, like, yeah, sure, maybe we're out partying hard and someone brings a cigarette, but you don't like we've had enough drinks for you to be like, oh, I only drink or smoke when I drink, and you never do that.
No,
you know what I mean?
I don't anymore. Especially since having Juliet.
Job,
I think.
Babe.
Especially since having Juliet, I just like don't want to do that around her.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, it's, I don't know. After hearing you say that the UK banned cigarettes, my thought is the nicotine companies have obviously just fully pivoted into the vape market.
Yeah, massively.
Because like that wouldn't.
No, I'm just gonna say something.
Yeah.
Is the funniest thing is like kids are starting vaping now. Like when I was that age and smoking, they're like that age and vaping.
Yeah.
But it's really funny because I only started vaping because it was the only thing that could stop me smoking. So I'm vaping's like my stepping stone to not smoking at all, whereas they're just like starting vaping. I'm like, why would you start that if you didn't smoke in the first place?
This just was a light bulb in my head. Vaping's more addictive than cigarettes.
Yeah,
it's the only thing that could get you to stop smoking cigarettes.
Yeah,
was vaping. And I'm not taking a shot at you, because I know, but that speaks volumes to what vaping is. Yeah. Because that's crazy.
And like it's like I know there's a guy at my work at the moment, Aiden, he's like my he's the supply chain manager, and we work very closely together, and he's trying to stop vaping at the moment, and he's doing like the little like Nicorette gums or like mints or whatever they are. But he was like, yeah, I was like smoking three vapes a day or something.
What?
Yeah. And it's just it's because it's like easy and it's right there, and it.
Okay,
like...
this is what I think the problem with vaping is just in general, is it cuts down on obvious things, because weed smoking, like joints and vaping, is the same thing as cigarettes and nicotine vaping.
True.
Is you can't do it, or you don't smell and you don't take as much, because like if you like a joint or a cigarette, like a joint,
you're gonna smoke the whole thing,
right? Or
at
least a joint and a half, but still it's like this long time you're sitting there like smoking it, and then you go inside and you stink, but then you have to go out again to smoke. So unless you're an indoor smoker, which like that at that level you're like pretty intense if that's what you're doing, then you're gonna puff the vape. But the vape, you don't...
Yeah, you can take a few puffs every now and again, and like you're just consistently doing it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But you can, like, let's say you take a cigarette every half hour. So that's 2 cigarettes an hour while you're awake, right? Yeah. So what is that? That's 24 in a day? Oh, that's a lot, isn't it? Yeah. So what would a normal, like, a day of smoking be for you if it's not, like, anything crazy?
Back in the days when I was, like, smoking a lot... I would go through a 20-pack in 2 days.
So 10 a day. So that's like, what, 1 every hour, assuming you're up for 10 hours.
Yeah.
Or I guess people stay up for more than 10 hours, don't they? So that's not too bad. It's not too bad. I shouldn't say that. But like it's like an hour and a half, 2 hours, and you have a cigarette kind of thing. But vaping, you can literally do nonstop constantly. Even in the night, people will wake up and vape.
I do it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I
wouldn't say I don't.
Yeah.
Like I sleep with my vape under my pillow because I know that if I wake up, I'm gonna want a little puffy puff.
No wonder tobacco is banned in the UK. The only reason it's banned, I guarantee you, is because all the companies that were cigarette companies pivoted. And now they're sitting there going like, we don't really care about the smokers because all our money's coming in from the vapes. It's the same thing as electric cars. I strongly think that it's the most, I don't use this. No, I'm not going to use that word.
Second bold statement of the week.
Okay. Yeah, actually, you know what? This is my second bold statement of the week. And this one's actually not sarcastic.
No.
You're fucking crazy if you think all combustible cars are going to be banned in Canada by 2035, which is what we're doing. Because I'm not against electric at all.
But Daryl will never get rid of his Corolla.
Yeah, I refuse to get rid of my Corolla. It's only got 84,000 kilometers on it. By then it'll be at like 200K and it'll still be brand new. No, but like... It's the same thing as EVs. The only reason you have this huge pushback against EVs at the start was because no one had EVs. And now they all have them. Like all the major car companies, you can get their electric car. So it's not the big deal it used to be, because they're like BMW's like, oh, actually, we can be in the electric market. So yeah, we should do them. Whereas before, Mercedes, all of them had none. So they were like lobbying and fighting to not have that. But now that they have it, it's pivoted everything.
Do you know the electric car that I really want?
Which is what?
The new Volkswagen ID Buzz.
I've never heard of it or seen it.
It's the new it's the VW Camper.
Oh.
But it's the electric version.
It's so cool.
It's so cool. And I drive past the Volkswagen garage every day on my way to work.
Yeah.
And they used to have an orange one parked outside, and I was like, that is like my dream car. And now they have a like lime green one parked outside, and I'm like, I would still fucking get that. Like, I think they're so cool.
I would love one. I drove an actual Westie to Coachella.
I know you did.
And it's I don't know. It's weird because it's not a camper. Like, it's not like going to a camper. It's way more cramped, but it's actually so fun. It's so fun.
And that's what I want. I want it so bad. I want that car so bad.
You know what, though?
If I gave you my car and then I got that car.
But those cost like $80K.
Yeah, but you finance.
And
they would both be orange, so we'd be matching.
I mean, I don't have anything wrong with your car. I'm not, but I don't know. I will say this. Those cars I told you when I went to Coachella,
Yeah.
I had 3 or 4 people offer me $10,000 cash for the car on the spot. And one guy literally had his checkbook out, and I was like, yeah, dude, like, I rented this. I can't sell it to you. He's like, dude, I'll give you money for it. You can just fly back home, give him, like, and I was just like, no. But, like, but the only thing with it, Neve, is you wouldn't use it. Like, you'd drive it, but we wouldn't go camping in it all the time.
I would if I had that car.
Lies.
I would if I had that car.
I don't believe you.
I would.
I don't believe you because you're just not a camper. It's fine, but you're just not a camper.
No, but I would be if I could car camp.
That is pretty fucking good car.
Yeah, see?
And you know what would be the wildest thing about it? Every car camp that you pull up to that has, like, a plug-in, you could literally, like, run a full... You just plug it in.
Exactly. Like, if I, like...
Oh, trust me, Neve, if I had even close to 80K or any... Sure, but I'm not in that position, and we both know that. Here, let me just call all the debt I'm in and be like, hey, gotta hold on for 20 years while I pay off this car.
I know it's not smart, but I really wanted it.
Okay, well, you go get it.
Okay.
I'm not gonna stop you, but I can't be a part of it.
I plead the fifth.
Do you want to go into our buy or sell of the week?
Yeah, can I just do some ASMR right now? Because I feel like this would be really good ASMR.
Turn the gain up.
That was nice.
Turn the gain up.
No, I'm gonna tell you right now that was nice.
Yeah, that was really nice.
That was in fact quite nice.
You should do an ASMR channel.
I would, but like you have to put like a lot of effort if you want it to get big. And
well,
I would just have to be like,
I mean, I feel like
now I'm just gonna go in this room. You've got to be really quiet while I do this.
That's fine, but I feel like it's more you if you're trying to get big, I think you're supposed to do it because you like doing it.
Yeah, but I don't want to get big.
That's what I'm saying is like you just do it because you like doing it.
I do well, that's the thing though. I like listening to ASMR, but I don't know if I would actually enjoy doing it.
I mean, fair enough if you just don't enjoy it, but you should try. Just do some and see, like, make your own and
maybe.
see if you like it. And then
Maybe. Because I fucking love ASMR.
Yeah, I know you do. I must admit,
listen to it most nights before
I must admit, I'm not like obviously like you, I'm not like, oh, it's the best, but I do like it. I think it's good. It's nice. Like hearing someone...
I like a good 30 minutes of ASMR before I go to bed. Whenever I say I'm going to bed and you come in, I'm on my phone, I'm just watching ASMR.
I still can't get over it. It's like I typed in like some ASMR and it's this old dude eating honey, and somehow he had so many views. Like it was like 2.5 million views.
Yeah.
And it wasn't good. Like it wasn't good.
It wasn't
good
yeah.
ASMR. And he's this old guy with a scraggly beard. And he's like, all right, we're just gonna have some honey here. And I'm like, come on, is this seriously? Like, I think it's because he's old and people take pity on him.
Maybe.
I honestly do. It's because like there's nothing against being old. I feel like it sounds like I'm such an old hater. I have nothing against age. Oldies. I'm just stating like facts. Like old people shouldn't be allowed to vote. I'm just kidding. Nua's biting me now. I was kidding. You're young. You could vote. But I just feel like it wasn't good, and I'm like, why do you have so many followers?
No, you gotta do. What I love is like personal attention ones, and they like put the brush on the camera, and it's like they're brushing your face, and I'm like, oh, that's so nice. Even though it's not actually brushing my face, I'm like, I can imagine. It's imagination, baby. That's what it is. It's imagining that they're brushing your face. It's like, oh, that would be nice.
You've said to me I should do a massage one, but I just wouldn't know how to do that.
Okay, if I make an ASMR channel, you've just gotta like give me a massage on the channel and like put the gain up really high on the mic while you're massaging me, and it will get like 50,000 million views.
I mean, if that's what it takes to get that many views, I'll do it.
I just want a massage.
You do know you have really good benefits, right?
Yeah, but I have you.
I'm not as good as the benefit plan.
You're way better than the benefit plan. I've been to other RMTs, and you're just the best.
I'm really good. Babe. I know. I'm not going to deny
that. You're just the best, and that's why I just long for your massages.
Why don't you just book a massage?
With you?
Sure. Okay. It'd be so weird if you booked it with me. Like, not to give you.
There's like, the best people at your clinic, and like, this is just the best for what I like, are you and Claudia.
Then why don't you book with Claudia?
Because she's the same as you. She's impossible to get into, and I don't know what I'm going to be doing in like 3 months' time.
So you think what time do you get off work?
4. But I also go straight to pick the baby up.
Yeah, okay. Well, Tuesday. You go, yo, Marge, what's up, y'all? Me go and get one of them little massages, you know what I'm saying?
Wait, when does Tanya work?
Tanya, the boss?
Tanya, your boss,
oh, yeah. On Wednesdays.
Okay, well, maybe I'll just bring Juliet in.
She would love
that. Tanya, go hang out with Juliet
she would actually love that more than working. Well, she does obviously more than working.
Okay, well, can you ask her about that? Because I would totally do it.
Okay. That would be... Okay, I can't do it right now, but yeah.
Okay, let's do buy and sells then.
All right.
Buy or sells. Just giving you some more ASMR here. Well, Derek.
My buy of last week was Brad, and yours was family time.
Wait, one more ASMR. That's gonna be so good.
What's your buy or sell of the week?
People are gonna fucking come over that.
Joe.
My buy or sell of the week. My buy of the week is probably it's probably Sarah's party. We just had like a lot of fun. I had a really good time. Juliet was a superstar.
She was a superstar.
She killed it. Yeah, so I'm just gonna say that was my buy of the week.
Nice. I'm actually gonna go with a little off-topic one here. So me and Riley were kicking it at Lucas Center with Neve on Wednesday, and my buy of the week is Nuo's fitness gains.
Nuo has had some wild fitness gains recently.
So yeah. I'm sure people have heard this, but I'll just remind them. Nuo was an 8 out of 9 on the obesity scale. I want to say at the end of last summer.
No, it's December is her checkup time.
Okay, so it was December, and I can firmly say she is. If she's not perfect weight now, she's pretty close.
She's
to
actually
it.
due a checkup. I got a text today saying she needs to go in for a checkup. So.
Newey, you're gonna get a checkup, my dear. You look so good, and I'm so proud of you. Good girl. You're so good. Yeah, you.
You've got to take her though.
Of course, I always do. Yeah.
I know it's because I'm scared of the vet.
Yeah, it's because he's Persian. Good girl, Newey. She's got a big smile and a skinny belly. Skinny belly. Good girl. We're so proud of you. Anyhow, I'm going to just keep praising the dog, so we might as well say goodnight to everyone. All right, everyone. Thank you for listening.
Peace out.
We love you. You the best. Bye.
Good night.